Hello guys, my name is Ankara and you're welcome to Lizama Stitches. So in this tutorial, we are going to be learning how to make shirt collar. So if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please click on the subscribe button and also turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I upload new videos. So let's get started. So to draft the collar, I'm going to take my neck measurement. I'm going to take my round neck measurement. So my round neck measurement is 21.5 inches. 21.5 inches. So I'm going to be working with 21.5 inches. Now this is my paper. So I'm going to draw a straight line. I'm going to rule a straight line. So now my neck measurement is 21.5 inches. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to divide 21.5 inches by 2. Whatever it gives me. Now 21.5 inches divided by 2 gives you 10 3/4. So I'm going to mark 10 3/4 here. So this is my 10 3/4. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to find the midpoint of this 10 3/4. I'll find the midpoint of 10 3/4. So now this is the midpoint of 10 3/4. Now after that, from this point, I'm going to come up by ½ inch and I'll mark ½ inch and I'm going to connect this ½ inch. I'm going to square it down and I'll connect it this point to this point with the curved part of my ruler. So the next thing I'm going to do, from this point, I'm going to mark 1 inch. I'm going to mark 1 inch on this line, just like this. From the curved part, I'm also going to mark 1 inch. And I'll connect it. So the next thing I'm going to do is this. From this point, I'm going to go in by ½ inch and I'll mark. And I'm going to curve it, just give it a slight curve with my free hand and I'll cut it. Now take note, my pattern paper is on fold. So after cutting, now this is what I have. So this is my collar stand. So the next thing I'm going to do is to draft my collar fall. Now take note, my paper is on fold. So I'm going to rule a straight line again. And the same measurement, I'm going to be working with the same measurement I used on the collar stand. So I'm going to be working with 10 3/4. Now to determine the height of my collar, I'm going to be working with 2.5 inches. So I'm going to mark 2.5 inches here and I'll do the same thing here. And I'll connect the points. So this second line I just ruled is also 10 3/4. So what I have here is 10 3/4. Now I'm going to mark my 10 3/4 here and I'll connect the points. So from this point, I'm going to go in by 1 inch and I'll mark. And I'm going to connect this point to this point, just like this. Now on this point, I'm going to go up by 1/2 inch, and I'm going to connect it to this point with my curved ruler, just a slight curve. And I'm going to cut it. So this is my collar fall. Now this is my collar. My collar is ready. So I'll transfer this to my fabric. Now with this one, I'm going to use this to cut my interfacing. I'm going to cut my interfacing just the way this thing is. I'm not going to add any seam allowance to it. But while cutting my fabric, I'm going to add 1/2 inch seam allowance all around it. And I'm going to do the same thing on the collar stand. I'll add 1/2 inch seam allowance all around it. Now this is my fabric. I added 1/2 inch seam allowance all around it. And this is my interfacing. I didn't add any seam allowance. Now you see that it's just exactly the same size with my pattern paper. I didn't add any seam allowance on it, but I added 1/2 inch seam allowance on my fabric. So I'm going to iron the interfacing on the fabric. I'm going to do it and show you the outcome. So now I've ironed interfacing on my collar. Now this interfacing is the hard one. We call it collar gum, and I added 1/2 inch seam allowance all around it. Now take note, I have 2 of these. I have two collar fall and 2 collar stand. Now the next thing I'm going to do is this. I'm going to take this to my sewing machine, and I'm going to place this right side facing right side, and I'm going to sew. I'll sew right side facing right side. So after sewing, I'm going to turn it to the right side, and I'll arrange it very well. Then I'm going to place the collar stand on the collar fall. Now when I turn it to the right side, I'm going to place my collar stand. I'm going to place my collar fall in between my collar stand. Now I'll place my collar fall in between my collar stand, just like this, and I'll sew. Now I'm going to notch the midpoint of my collar fall and the midpoint of the collar stand, and I'll join it together and I'll sew. Now this is my collar. This is the outcome of my collar. Now if you found this tutorial helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. Share this video with your friends. Share this video in your sewing groups. Subscribe to my channel. Feel free to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Dizama Stitches. We've come to the end of this tutorial. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.